everyone, my name is Divan Raj. Welcome back to my channel. Perhaps space is not space. Sounds interesting, right? So follow up with me and we'll go straight to the string theory. That is my point. First of all, I would like to thank all of my viewers who firstly watched my videos now recently. And I'm so thankful to them because without you, I can't make this video. I don't have any motivation to make this video. Okay, let's get started. Okay, across worldwide, not so much people love about space. This is because space is something that is related to maths. According to many of the humans, they all think that space, studying astronomy, cosmology, astrophysics, are something that's more related to maths and only a math genius can solve of this question. Well, sometimes it is true. However, you must remember that the sky over there is not for those intelligence. It's for you yourself. If you want to find an answer, just look at the sky. Everything will be there. That is the uniqueness of our universe, of our space, and so on. So let's get started with this extraordinary theory, string theory. Hello guys, from this theory, string theory, I will cover all of these topics such as dimensions, origin, how to test string theory, and some extraordinary mind-blowing ideas about string theory. That is the reason why I am here. I want to create awareness for you to love astronomy, to love space, to love everything. Okay, let me tell you about dimensions. Okay, let's look around yourself. Look at here and there and you will realize that our Earth, our Mother Earth, was consists of only three-dimensional of space. This is simply called three-dimensional of space. This is because it has length, width, and height. So, one dimension of time. That is the basic of our Earth's dimension. However, in string theory, it talks about 10 dimensions of space and one dimension of time. That is totally insane, totally unbelievable. That is the truth among all of us. That is why string theory is so mesmerizing for all those people, and you might wonder how does the 10D and one dimension of space-time will occur and how will it look like? How? There is no specific imaginations. However, I can show you some simple examples. Let's say you have a straw, the drinking straw, and then you just expand it and you look at that. In 2D shape, you will look like it's just a small hole. However, in 3D shape, when you look at the side, you will look at its length also. However, when you look deep down into, who knows, there is a turn here and there, and it is called 10D. That's why parallel universe exists. Some people like Michio Kaku, one of the famous theoretical physicists, once says that there is always a parallel universe. That is the reason, because we never knew what happens here and there. We never. After you know some basic, let's get to the origin of the string theory. Okay, when you think about string theory, what would you think? It's string. Yes, it's true. It's really a string. From there, its origin came from. And hence, let me show you my guitar. You can see my guitar, and then you will realize this string is actually known as string theory. One of those most fundamental theory about string theory. And hence, let's get started from some simple examples. Let's say that this is your palm. Inside your palm, you will got particles. Inside those particles, you will have subatomic particles. Subatomic particles such as the proton, electron, neutron, and so on. Now, let's say this ball, this orange ball, is electron. It's just swinging here and there and here and there. You just pick it up, you cut it into half, and inside it, it's not just a core. However, it is made up of string. Inside this electron, you will look at the string, just the string, not like the earth core or so on. It's not just a ball. It's inside those balls, it has strings. And you may answer, what is look like a string? What is the length of the string? Okay, for your informations, inside this electron, they call string, the minimum length for the string is Planck length, which is 10 to the power of negative 33 centimeter. That is the minimum length for the strings inside those. And you might wonder, why you need to know all about this? Okay, that is the main thing, that is the key point for my video. You need to learn not only what is string theory, but the usage of string theory. Okay, you might know that our universe starts with a burst called Big Bang. Big Bang is one of the some basic ideas for our universe, where our Earth came from, where our everything came from. However, most people fail to realize what happened before the Big Bang and what will happen in the future. Just like time traveling, it's possible through string theory. This is because string theory holds all of those information inside it. I will get to the point later. Until I want to describe who started to discover this string theory in order to produce those mind-blowing experiments, and those usage for the string theory. Now let's continue to my next point. The first two persons who start to discover string theory was actually Veneziano and Suzuki. These two persons are just young physicists and working at nuclear place called CERN, CERN Laboratory. And then one day they start to scramble some basics books. Let's say they just want to go through all those formulas, and they start to see some unique equations, which is called Euler's beta function. And they started to talk to themselves that perhaps they can start to manipulate those mathematical formulas in order to describe nuclear force, the weak and the strong nuclear force. And although it seems like they just want to touch on those two fundamental forces of our universe, however, we need to know that when they started to touch on that, when they started to do calculation on those two fundamental force, they started to affect the whole fundamental force of our universe. Okay, as you all know, as for your informations, there are four fundamental forces of the universe. Fundamentals means basic force. The first one is certainly gravitational force. The second one is electromagnetic force. The third one is strong nuclear force, and the fourth one is weak nuclear force. When they start to search for the equation, the beta function, which was first created by Leonhard Euler in order to do some equations to his beta function, and then these two guys will go into, and then they started to do some maths in order to describe those two forces sooner and sooner. Before a year ago, they thought that string theory is actually a garbage, which is humans just think out of their mind in order to create something that is even not existed. However, through this formula, they started to realize string theory is one of the important theory that can describe all of those forces in our universe. That is the truth. Okay, let's say Albert Einstein has created general relativity, as you all know, and one of those other theory is quantum mechanics. These two studies are way different. This is because general relativity talks about on a larger scale, such as quasars, black hole, space-time bat, space warp, and so much more, like the Big Bang. However, it doesn't talk about what happens before the Big Bang or what happened after the Big Bang. And on the other hand, like quantum mechanics, it only talks about something that is small enough, such as this tiny and discrete particle as small as an atom, and as small what inside those atoms, like quarks and so many things. These two theories, one explain the larger scale and the other one explain the smaller scale. When we combine these largest and the small scales together, boom, we can explain the whole universe at the tip of our finger. You must know, this is the actual mindset for our theoretically physicists in order to achieve those things, in order to put all their efforts, all their hard works into things in order to create an equation which only have a length about 1.5 inch long equation to describe the all forces in our universe. That's why string theory became so important in our nature as well. So many physicists are trying to figure it out how to unify general relativity and quantum mechanics together in order to create one universal theory, which is the string theory. However, what they came up with really brainstorming. This is because, let's say, take an example. So many physicists, one of the most famous physicists like Erwin Schrödinger, founder of the Cat's paradox, and once he's tried to unify general relativity with quantum mechanics together, and he found out really an equation. However, when he starts to publish those equations, Einstein came in. Einstein says that those equations that were created by Schrödinger were actually one of his himself equations that he was created a long year ago and was rejected. And hence, Schrödinger became humiliated. And hence, from this scenario, we can easily see that string theory is really one of the most mind-blowing, and sometimes it's really wasting some people's lives in order to create. When they start to do a lot of maths in order to create those string theory to be true, those equations, what they really are is they came back to the same positions. So many people are trying to figure out that maths, and however, when you start to touch on those one mathematical formula, for instance, when you touch one on gravitational formula, they start to manipulate their formula in order to unify with the quantum mechanics. They has met their limit. This is because mathematics has shows that it is infinity. The answer will be infinity, and if you touch on here, the other parts of the matter will be destroyed, such as the other parts like strong and weak forces. And if you want to marry it together, it becomes difficult, and it will spoil out the whole mathematical equations. That's why it became one of the most brainstorming equation of all time, because it's already around 10 to 20 decades, but still now no one has ever created one equations. Perhaps you can, who knows? You may try one. I will post those equations on here. I'm not sure whether this is a true. I think it is a true equations, but if you can solve these equations, hats off to you guys. Hats off. Sooner, the most famous theoretical physicist named Michel Kaku came in, and he started to introduce parallel world. This is because only parallel world can manipulate those string theories to be true. That is the key point. Even Albert Einstein has tried it before. This is because although he became so famous because of his general relativity, he's still not so satisfied with his equations because he never had the chance to marry general relativity to quantum mechanics together. That is which we call a grand unified theory. This is one of another theory under this string theory, and over his decades, around so many decades, 5 to 6 decades, in order to figure those questions out, how to unify, and he started to create mathematical formula. However, he passed away. He passed away because he passed away on his desk while doing his equation, while finishing his equations. Michio who was a young child at that moment, saw this at the news, and he started to become inspired that perhaps he himself can solve those equations. And I am really appreciate those kind of mind. I am really appreciate this kind of people who are willing to sacrifice their life in order for physics, in order to develop astronomy, cosmology, and so on. I am so thankful to have these guys, and I'm so thankful they write a lot of books in order to educate those young people, old people, and so many people in order to love space, love astronomy, love cosmology so much. There are a few ways to test about string theory, and one of those tests is colliding a string with another string to form an S matrix. Hey guys, if you want to know more about S matrix, what is X matrix, why a string collide with another string will form S matrix, and it can be tested and became a proof for string theory, that string theory really exists. You may ask me in the comment below, about this S matrix, and I will try to do my best in order to do a lot of research regarding the S matrix and convey the message shortly and briefly to you guys in my another upcoming video, perhaps perhaps next Sunday, and so on. And I hope that you will give up your comments, all of your questions. Perhaps I not speak that good, I'm glitching here there, I'm sorry about that. However, I hope that my video will help you to get some knowledge, get some basic knowledge about the astronomy and cosmologies, which I am really interested in. Thank you. Now let's move on to the next question, how to test with the second method. This is a second method, which is to test the string theory is by forming a black hole. Sounds crazy, right? That's what sounds crazy, because I thought it was really crazy when I go through all of those informations, all of those books, and I realized that actually humans are capable of making mini black hole. Okay, I know there is a lot of black holes here and there in our universe. It is impossible to reach there with our advanced technologies, because it has a strongest gravitational force of ever seen. Creating a mini black hole in a laboratory will cost around millions of dollars, US dollars, and so on. You might think why string theory is testable by using a mini black hole. There is a reason behind. This is because, okay, if you want to test string theory, you need to put something inside those black holes. If you put something inside those black holes, there is a theory that describes Hawking radiations. Stephen Hawking once created a theory called Hawking radiations, which will emit out information as radiation when the black hole started to shrinking and shrink. And if you want to prove string theory is correct, just put those strings into black hole and see whether those informations can be emits out, and perhaps it can trigger those past memories. It can trigger those things that happens before the Big Bang in order to came back from those black hole, and it will start to emit out here and there. When it starts to emit out, we can gain those informations by using our latest advanced technologies that we created in the future, but not now. Still now it is impossible to get through that point, but theoretically it is possible. And through that we can gain those information, and we can see what happened before a Big Bang, what happened, everything. That is the key why string theory is very, very important, and it may help to take our humanity, our humans' advanced technology to the next level. We can know everything. One more thing, I need to tell you that Stephen Hawking once says, If you can find a proof for this string theory, whether this theory is true or not, if you say it's true with all of those mathematical calculations, this is the end of theoretical physics. That is the truth, because this is theory of everything. It marries general relativities with quantum mechanics all together, and it is simplified version of our universe. If you want to calculate possible particles here and there, those strings, what happens before the Big Bang, could we go back to time travel, we can be time traveling, can we go to the future, and so on. Everything is possible just by testing this string theory, and it is quite possible. But the most important thing is mathematics. And did you guys happy with my presentations? And I'm so sorry if my language are wrong or whatever, and I'm so sorry. If can, please give a comments below so that I can improve myself from time to time. And if you like my video, if you like my explanations, if you think that my explanation is brief and it is enough for you to be interested in astronomy, please give a thumbs up for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for everything. Subscribe me to grow my channels, and I hope that there are so many people will come around and see my videos. And I hope that with this opportunity I can spread my love for the space, my love for the universe, Until then, signing off from you guys. Perhaps space is not space. Thank you guys. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.